Hi, this is Zoe, the Tantalising Stamper, and today I'm showing you a fringing technique for the Totally Techniques blog hop. So I have some paper from the Wildflower Birthday Suite, and I'll just give you a hint at what they are. So you've got all of these beautiful sheets of DSP, Designer Series paper. You get a sheet of printed die cuts that are just gorgeous, and you get this lovely sheet, and they're all foiled on one side, and then you've got other designs on the reverse. There's another one. And then you also get these sheets which have got labels and tags that you can cut out, or indeed this really pretty daisy pattern. Okay, so really lovely. And oops, I have got a card base, then I've got a matting layer of a piece of the DSP, which for metric sizes rather than imperial, it's 10.5 by 14.8, and obviously that would be a full sheet of A4 that I've cut in half and then scored. This piece is 10 by 14.3. I have a piece here that I'm going to cut strips from, and then I have a layer that's going on the top in soft sea foam, and my card base is soft sea foam. I've managed to get a little mark on this, but it's going to disappear when I use the die. And this is 9.5 by 13.8. So to get started, I'll put those to one side. I'm going to just cut strips of this paper. And this is about 7.5 centimetres wide, and I'm going to cut 2 centimetre strips. You can keep them in order, but it doesn't really matter. But just for ease, I think I probably will. So I want probably 6 or 7. Got 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Now they're sticking together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think that hopefully will be enough. If not, we can get one more out of there. And then if you have a pair of fringing scissors, or like this, they cut multiple little strips all in one go, then you can use those. I'm going to work back along here. Where did that? Oh, like I say, it doesn't really matter too much. So I've got the scissors. I'm going to cut, but not all the way. So you get these little tassels. And I'm going to also cut them a little bit fine. Oh, I think actually on this one, on my example that I'll show you at the end, I cut them a little bit finer. So if I just show you at one end when I find my scissors. So I've cut them in half as well to make them a little bit more dainty. But I think I might try this one with them just wider and see how that looks. So we go across. This is going to be wider than the aperture that you're going to cover, so don't worry if it's a bit of an overhang at the end. Just trim them all like this. And once they're all done, we can push those to one side. I will do those. Then you're using the birthday celebrations dies. So I've taken this lovely tag die which has stitching around the edge, and you've got the numbers, and you can make your own banners with tassels and pennants, etc. I'm going to cut an aperture, and because I've got a mark on there, I'm going to cut it out of there. But I'm going to put it over to one side a little bit, because then I could put some decoration on here if I want to. So there you go. This tag you can keep for another card and add something. So here's the one I made previously, and I'm thinking of doing something like this to create another card. But keep those safe and you'll be able to use them. The die you can put away safe as well. Then what we have to do is add some adhesive to the back side of where you've cut, and I'm doing it here. Oops, that's not going to show, so we don't need to worry. And you take the first piece and very carefully, trying not to stick onto your grid paper, you're going to stick that on there so I can then push that down. Right, I've made this a little bit tricky by coming right over here. I perhaps could have put it a little bit more over to the left. But then you take each one and add them. In fact, I think it's easier if you actually position it over here. Just make sure you've got enough adhesive going down, and then layer them on top of each other like this. Then if you add a little bit of adhesive, or you can go a bit further if you're feeling brave and don't think that you'll catch pieces. We keep going. So as we keep going with our pieces, again, I've got enough adhesive, so if I put this next one on and let's just keep that a bit straight. Just layer them on. You can adjust it slightly because you've got a bit of overlap. So if you come out this way, obviously you can trim the edges. But at the moment, we'll just keep adding pieces. And I've actually pre-cut another one already. Oh, I think we might have run out of adhesive here. Oh, that's going to be a bit awkward. Let's stick that. And we'll give ourselves a little bit more gluing here. I think probably something like a tape runner, seal adhesive is the best thing for this, because I think otherwise you're going to get very messy with a wet glue like Tombow. I haven't got that straight now. There's nothing to stop you layering them slightly at angles. You might need less paper that way. And then we'll stick the final one on. There. Okay, so we've got them all on. Just make sure that it's stuck down. And that's fine. Now for the next part, you're going to stick this onto here as a matting layer. But if you love this paper like I do, what you might like to do is gut, i.e. cut out the middle of the paper. And the easiest way I found to do that is either with a die, if you have one that's not too big. But what you can do as well is if you cut, I'm going to cut at 2 centimetres and just go down, stop where I think is about the right place. Then line that cut up with my trimmer, come in a little bit and use the lines on the edge of your trimmer blade to hopefully judge the right sort of place, but bearing in mind that this is all going to be hidden underneath your fringed design piece. You don't need to worry too much, but it does give you an extra piece of the DSP to use on another card if you want to. Alternatively, if you're not too worried, you can stick it straight onto the card. So we'll just trim out those pieces. Then this, our fringe piece that I've already finished, I think I quite like it with those, is going to be stuck onto here. And for this, I am going to use wet glue and stick that. So put glue around the edge. You want to be careful here because you don't want it to ooze, but I think I might just put a little bit on each of the bits where I hadn't trimmed to add to make it nice and secure. pop that on, and it just sort of adds to the pattern with the detail of the fringing. Not doing very well with fingers, am I? This is just an adhesive remover, taking off any marks that you might put on. Then I've got a card base, so I can then either stick this flat onto here again with wet glue, or I could use some Stampin' Dimensionals to lift it up and add some detail. And the detail on my card, I've used a sheet of die cut images, and I've used some of the flowers. So this sheet is my second sheet that I haven't used yet, but as you can see, they sparkle and shimmer, and they're really, really pretty. And some you could use for girls or ladies, but you could also use this for younger boys or even grown-up guys, with depending on how you put it together. Okay, and lovely birthday cakes and balloons. So if I show you the one that I've already created. So I keep my pieces that I've taken out of the master sheet, so to speak, in a stamp case, because it keeps them safe. Generally doesn't let all the little ones fall out either. And I've also got a set of sentiments that are in the Spring Mini, or the online exclusives, I think. And I've used, you can see I used a happy birthday on my finished card from here. And those stick on really nicely and really easily, but you could, this whole suite has a stamp set as well as the dies that I used earlier. So you could use that to add a date of birth with the dies and a happy birthday, or I think it says it's got Make-A-Wish, but I thought this was really nice and easy to use. So there we go. Thank you for joining me. You can find out more about this card and the materials that I used on my blog, stampingscene.blogspot.com, and also the opportunity to get a set of free tutorials also using this Wildflower Birthday Suite. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.